Hi guys, good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are. It's me. Um, it's me. It's me, Brandon Johnson, also known as Spiritual Awakening Babe, and I love to help you guys support you through your spiritual awakening process, all the way from seeing 1111 to having a six-figure business. Um, so I wanted to go live again today to kind of add on to what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about being that, that multidimensional being. Being a multidimensional being is what we talked about yesterday. And then a lot of you guys were asking, and thank you so much for the people that are pushing like on YouTube. That makes my heart sing. So let me know, say hello when you're here. And we're going to talk a little bit more about connecting with spirit today. So, hello, all the people on YouTube. I can't see who you are yet, but hey, Devon. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Pammy. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Jackie. Good morning. Good morning, Brandy. Awesome. Hey, Allie on YouTube. Yay. So, and good morning, Jackie. Good morning, good afternoon, Jackie, on Facebook. So, you guys, I'm doing cross lives today. So, Spiritual Awakening Babe is my YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to that. And then your Spiritual Awakening community is on Facebook. If you feel like you want to be in a community, make sure you're in there. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Shauna. Lots of great people jumping on here today because, of course, it's about talking to spirit. So when I talk about intuition and mediumship development or manifestation or communicating with your spirit guides, right? I always talk about, a few ways that I feel like is the most important thing for you to do. And I'm sorry if I'm crooked on Facebook. But the number 2 thing that I recommend, the second thing, oh, crap. We're trying to be professional here. Have a professional studio in the kitchen, right? So any of y'all think that you can't be successful or have a 6-figure business by doing lives in your kitchen and like dropping shit, you can. It's just a limiting belief. So if you're watching the replay, you guys make sure you leave a comment. Replay, it helps keep it bumped up in the group. I'm sure it helps with the algorithm on YouTube. But I want to talk to you about the power of journaling and how journaling can help you communicate with spirit and manifestation and all that, right? Hey, Hillary and Rachel. Okay, awesome, right? I know it's crazy over here. So what happens when we journal, right? I remember in the very beginning when I was like, how am I supposed to journal? Like, what am I even supposed to say, right? Hey, Caitlin. And honestly, like I was explaining to some of the girls on the Alignment Academy call yesterday, like, honestly, what I would do is I would literally put pen to paper and just be like, it's me, Brandeline. I had a cup of coffee today. And really what ends up happening is you end up like connecting. It like balances the left and right side of your brain because you're using your logic, but you're also using your emotional side of your brain and your creative side of your brain. And when that happens, folks, because you guys know I'm an energy nerd and I study the science behind spirituality, and I study all of the the science that happens in your brain and all of those things. Because when you balance the left and right side of your brain, you get a more cohesive, right? Hey, Eloise. You get a more cohesive connection. And hey, Divina on Facebook. So I'm so glad you guys are here. So a couple other things that I wanted to tell you about journaling, especially when we're first starting to develop our intuition and mediumship, right? Or even advanced. But for those of you that are beginning, what happens here is if we're inviting spirit and we're like, spirit guides, angels, past loved ones, be here with me in love and light only, and I want to communicate with you. So as soon as they know that you are intending for information to come through and you start journaling, it's going to be more powerful, right? But also, the reason why I tell you guys to journal is because when you're developing your intuition and mediumship, you are the investigator of your own gift, right? So it's so important for you to document some of the experiences that you have, right? Like you start dreaming, you start, maybe you think you met your spirit guide and writing down who you think you saw. This is a pure communication to them. Sure, you can talk to them just through your head, but the physical fact that you are taking a thought from the etheric realm and you are bringing it down into this third dimension, right? You're bringing it down through this third dimension and you are writing it on this piece of paper. So you have now brought a desire, you have now brought an experience down into this third dimension. And so what has happened? It has manifested, right? So it's so important for you to do these journal exercises, and it could just be straight up journaling, like, my name is Brandaline and I had a cup of coffee, right? I always recommend journaling after you meditate. Somebody's asking me a question. Caitlin says, they can write to you through yourself, right? Yeah, so usually, and she could be talking about automatic writing. That's kind of like the next level, and that is what happens. You just start realizing, and not necessarily taking over your hand. Sometimes that that's a thing too, but this is more of a channeling type of experience. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me, how do I channel? Teach us a class on how to channel randomly. You are a channel, right? Like you're just tuning in. So when we meditate before we journal, what happens is our brains get down into these different levels of alpha waves, your alpha, delta, theta waves. And when that happens, all of the cells in your brain start secreting different hormones, different chemicals. I could be using the wrong word, but they are secreting these hormones essentially that allow you, right, to have more clarity when it comes to spirit. So when we're meditating, we get into that space. We turn, our channel starts getting on. Hey, Gretchen on YouTube. And hey, Cindy on Facebook. Eloise says she writes things down about her dreams. 100%. If you are a dreamer, which I consider a clairvoyant, then you should totally have a dream journal next to your bed, because spirit communicates through you when your logical mind is at rest and your speak it, Brandaline, your more creative mind is up front. Like, put your logical mind in the back, your ego in the back, and allows your emotional side to be there, and it allows more things to happen. So especially when you're first starting to develop, you may or if you ever sign up for a class with me, the minute you sign up for a development class, you will start having crazy dreams. And that's them, because that whole part, that whole scenario is if you set the intention, you're like, I am paying money to be able to develop into this. And so you set that intention and you are going to push energy forward, because that's the balance, the energy balance is you're like, I put money down. You'll start having dreams right away, because they know that you are literally asking for this to happen. Right, Eloise says that's how they communicate with me, through my dreams, right? So I have a lot of people that they're called dreamers. I call them dreamers. Whereas when you develop as a dreamer, then you will actually dream of certain people and you'll have a message for them. And then after you write it down, that either the person and you need to go deliver that message, or that spirit is sending that person in order for you to give that information to. So that would be an exercise that I would tell you, Eloise. Right? I got a couple other questions. Yeah, Devon saying she's got lots of dreams, right? When they talk to you, is it because is it ego? I don't even know what that word is. I asked my past loved one, how do I know if it's him talking and not me thinking? And he said it will sound like an echo. Oh, okay. So that's what we would call an agreement for you, Caitlin. It's different for everybody. And hey, Nancy. So awesome. So again, journaling, right? A great way for you to get really more information too when you are journaling is to really journal about all of the details, right? Because your subconscious mind will remember things. Your subconscious mind will tap into more things if you start stating. So let's just say, for example, you want to channel for somebody and you start seeing an image. And so you're like, I see the grass and feels this way on my feet and I smell the smell and I can sense the air, the more that we invite all of these senses in and bring it through into the journaling, the more information you'll start getting. We do this a lot with manifestation, and this wasn't really necessarily meant to be a manifestation video, but I did want to tell you guys, journaling is the second most important thing that I tell my students and my audience to do in order to connect with spirit, in order to connect with your higher self. Like if you just get into that state, meditation's number one. And then number two, sit with an intention for your journaling too. It's great after you meditate, you're like, I am going to journal because why? Because I want to know who my spirit guide was, or because I want to write down about the spirit guide meditation that I did, or I'm going to journal because I want my higher self to come through and tell me what to do next in this situation. This is how you can give yourself a reading. You can literally write down, what is the next step to grow my business, or what is the next step to, find my life purpose, those types of things. And you will get this feeling and you'll get this flow. And once it starts flowing, this is why I always tell my students in the Awaken program to journal, because once it starts flowing, you will literally get full on sentences, especially like this week is Angel Week for them. Especially when it comes to angels, at least that's my experience, is I'll get like 1 or 2 words and then all of a sudden you'll get this whole sentence, but you wouldn't get that whole sentence if you didn't have pen to paper. Well, I take that back. They're like, reject that statement. It's likely that it would be easier for you to get this full sentence once you get into the flow, right? Some of you guys might be clairaudient, right? So you hear a couple words and let me explain it to you this way. So when we're giving a reading, right, or when we're channeling from spirit, we'll get like 1 or 2 words like, oh, you're an empath. Oh, I see you being a healer, right? But as soon as that flow starts going and that client starts, yes, I am. And then you're like, oh my God, and now all of a sudden I see this and this. So this can happen when we're just channeling out of our mouth. But when we're journaling, the same thing happens. Like, I see the color green. I see this. Oh, it's like, oh, I know I sound like a crazy lady. But it's like, oh, all of a sudden you're opening the faucet, so to say, and so much more comes through. So you guys, let's recap. Journaling is the second most important thing I say in order for you to strengthen your communication with spirit, in order for you to get stronger information from spirit, regardless of what you're doing it for. I always recommend that you meditate beforehand, and then before you journal, like set an intention. You can even set the intention before your meditation. So that way, you may get some downloads during your meditation, and then you could come out and start journaling about it. And then that channel is still open and it's still flowing and it's just like pouring through you, like I said, like the faucet, and it keeps coming through. And then again, using all of your senses in your brain, if you can, add how it feels, how it smells, how the touch is, all of those things, then you're going to have much more clarity through your journaling session. So you guys, I'm sending you so much love. Hey, Allison on Facebook. I'm sending you guys so much love. I hope you love these trainings that help support your spiritual awakening process through beginning all the way to 6-figure business. My name is Brandaline Johnson. If you're on YouTube, obviously my name doesn't show up. So if you feel like you want to connect, come send me a friend request on Facebook and definitely join our group, Your Spiritual Awakening group, Your Spiritual Awakening community rather. And then on Instagram, at Spiritual Awakening Babe. Come watch my stories. I'm on there all day sharing the back end of what the hell's going on over here, sharing my soups that I'm going to make. So yeah, at Spiritual Awakening Babe on Instagram. I would love to have you follow me there. But otherwise, I'm sending you guys love. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to come in and talk a little bit more about spirit guides. I've just been really feeling called to throw out a bunch of spiritual stuff for you guys this week for free, valuable content, because I love you. And I am sending you guys love. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.